Welcome to today's video, details of a 1966 bug. I'm going to take you around the car and just explain a few bits and pieces that Baloo has that make him a 1965 to 66 VW Beetle. So to start, his headlights actually have his indicator bulb within them, which is quite cool. His number plate ends in D, which makes you aware that he is born the year that he was, so he's actually 55 years old now, so we celebrated his birthday on the 1st of April 2021. So yeah, you can see that his indicator bulbs are within the headlights there, which is quite nice. He also only has one wing mirror, which is on the driver's side, which is quite handy, and I do find I use it quite a lot when parking, but I quite like that he only has one. And here we are at the rear of the car. I really like his lights, I think they're lovely. They're not too small and they're not too big, so they're kind of perfect really. And on his deck lid you'll see that he has not got a Pope nose, which was an original earlier Beetle, but he has got a really nice deck lid there, which is above his number plate, which lights up at night time. And my bug is actually a 1200 engine. So let's open that up and show you what his engine looks like inside. So here we have his little 1200 engine. So a few things that it has is it's got the oil bath at the top, which is quite good, and I think it helps him run really well. That's where I would fill up his oil there beneath the cap. He's got aluminium tubes and his dipsticks there, which is nice and easy to find. It also lets me know the firing order, which is really cool, and I love all those little VW details that you see there on the tinware. I really like his new carburettor that I invested in just after Christmas. It is his 6th carburettor, but this one seems to be running really nicely, and I'm really glad that I invested in that. So yeah, I just love how plain and simple his engine is. It's really easy to learn about. I use my Haynes manual usually to look up how to do things, and I've got some really cool little details in there that I'm sure you can see and appreciate too. You can also lock the engine lid, which is quite useful if you had any worries. We've also got these grab handles inside the car, which are really cool, and they've gone a bit off colour now. I've also got my shelf in there that I really like, that's on the back of the seat. So if we make our way to the dashboard now, you'll see how simplistic it is, which is what I really love. There's a glove box in there, but I won't show you because it's a bit messy at the moment, and I'll explain in a minute what all the different knobs do. But yeah, this is actually my pull handle, which is beneath the dashboard, so you pull that and that releases the spring to open up the front bonnet, which I'll show you now. See what's inside. So you pull that one up, and this is essentially the boot of my car, which is obviously at the front of the car, which is quite a nice feature of a Beetle. So my spare wheel sits upright in mine. As you can see, it's gone a bit discoloured since we've whitewalled it. This is my fuel filler cap, so this is where I actually have to fill Baloo up when he's a bit thirsty, so I do have to open the bonnet every time to do that, which people at the petrol station really like looking at. My wiring is all hidden behind there, and this is my petrol tank. So looking inside the spare wheel now, you can see that it's really well kept in there, and I really like this. This is my windscreen wash bottle, and right next to that is my brake fluid. So that all sits nicely in there in its own little containers, which is quite cool. But yeah, I love how simplistic it all is in there. It's really cool. So window wipers, I actually got these for Christmas. They're really nice antique window wipers. They're a stainless steel, which would be good for longevity of the car. But I really like how they work. And I've been spending a lot of time detailing Baloo recently, so he's got some nice beading there from the rain, which is cool. So yeah, my window wipers are this pull handle here, and they just turn on like that. And I really like the noise that they make. They're only one speed, my window wipers as well. But when you push that knob in, if you push the middle button, that's how you get the windscreen wash to work. So my headlights pull on just like so that's the handle there. You twist it to the right, and that makes the light in the speedo nice and bright. Here are my headlights now. So like I said before, my indicator bulb are within the headlights themselves, and I've also got my spotlights, which are actually on a full beam option only. So I've just popped them on to show you them on, but that's actually my... So the old ashtray that's in there I use to keep my spare bulbs in, which is quite handy. It's a bit stiff to put away actually. This is my fuse box here. So I don't have as many fuses for a 1966 Beetle, so they're much easier to keep on top of. And yeah, as you can see, the little fuse box has all the numbers on it, so you know which one's which. And yeah, just make sure every so often that they're all okay and they're intact, which is good. I like that it's neatly tucked under there. So my pedals, I'll show you in a second when I'm driving. They're actually quite interesting. So when you're driving, you do feel like you have to keep your feet quite high up off the ground. So as you can see, my foot doesn't actually touch the ground, and that's just how it's always been with Baloo. So you do get used to it. So in this video here, I'm just giving him a little drive around the car park for you to see. But yeah, it takes some getting used to fiddle about with the pedals. You also gain a lot of muscle with the steering wheel because obviously there's no power steering wheel to do. And the gear stick takes some getting used to. To put it in reverse, you have to really push it down and back to the left at the back. In fact, not many people can do it. I've had a few people try driving them and only a handful have been able to put it in reverse. But as you can see, it's the same with my brake. My foot doesn't quite reach the ground, and then I really like my ignition ring that I've got there as well. That was a good buy. So my seatbelts are fairly new. I was actually gifted to me by Heritage Parts, which I'm really pleased with. They're really lovely seatbelts, and I love how simplistic they are. These are my heater knobs, so when they're both up like that, my heating is on, and that's my handbrake as it stands at the moment, which has been recently adjusted, which is nice. It's good and strong. The seats need some work. I mean, I will get some new seat covers at some point, which I've mentioned before. They're a bit ripped in parts, as you can see, but they're pretty rustic, and yeah, they're quite durable with the life that I lead. Got my cushion there, which is good. So that's just a few visual details that I've put in there for my 66 bug. We've got these little handles here that I actually copied my friend Zoe by getting. I prefer that to the big handles that you get in door cards. That's my door handle there that you can then lock the car with, so that locks there. And then I've got my window winder. My windows have had a lot of work recently to make them work a lot better as well, which is good. And this is what I call my air cons, these little windows, which can be quite stiff to push open. They just come open like that when you're driving, and you get this lovely blast of air, and they just close like that. I do really like all the ivory details that I've got that all tie in quite nicely together in blue now. That's good. I've got my fire extinguisher, which is very important, and it's in such a place that I can grab at it quite easily should there be an emergency, which fingers crossed there never will need to be. That's my battery that I've got down there. I've got that clamped actually, and yeah, I put new terminals on there, which is good, but that's beneath my back seat, and I've also got a spare petrol can in there for emergencies. We're going to open up the bonnet again just now, so I'll just show you how to do that, and I'm going to take you in so you can see my wiring setup. So Baloo actually had lots and lots of electric issues for a while, and so in the end, rather than fixing them all one by one and spending a lot of money on labour and spending a lot of time, I actually invested in a new wiring loom, which has been amazing. One of the best decisions I've ever made. So if you're having trouble with any of your electrics in your car and you're just sick of it like I was, I honestly recommend a new wiring loom. I think you will not look back. So my wiring, like I say, is hidden here behind this, so we just untwist the little catches at the bottom there, pop them off, and then we can take the cover off and that comes down, and then you can get into wherever you need to. So as you can see, it's been really well done, it's very neat. I have my relays on a little relay holder up there, which is really good. My fuse board was all looking really nice because I had that refurbished, and then the glove box is nicely tucked in there. We've got the back of my speedometer and my fuel gauge. My fuel gauge, which isn't accurate, I must say. That's another thing. You just have to guess how much fuel you have, or get a torch in there just to double check. So yeah, that's the nice basic setup of my 66 bug. I think I've covered everything, but if you have any questions about anything, don't hesitate to comment below. Alternatively, you can find us on Instagram, VW Beetle, and I'm always answering people on there, so if you do have any questions, just fire them over. But hopefully you, like me, enjoy all the little details of a 66 bug. And thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you again soon.